So here at the Chicago Auto Show, we are getting one of our first opportunities to walk around and check out the Silverado EV up close and to bring you guys along to check it out. It will be available in two versions to begin with, and production will begin toward the end of next year. There will be a fleet-only, for now, work truck model, and there will also be this RST version, which is a customer-oriented one. It's loaded up with all kinds of features and stuff. And we'll talk a little bit more about pricing in a little bit, but we want to start out with just taking you around the car and showing you some of the interesting details. You'll obviously notice that it looks very different from your run-of-the-mill internal combustion engine Chevy Silverado. It's a ground-up design. It shares a lot of its componentry with the GMC Hummer EV. It's designed from the ground up as an electric vehicle. Doesn't have much of a grille up front. In fact, the cowl has been moved forward to add more passenger space. It's larger inside. And the proportions as a result are very different. The cab is farther forward. It's got rear pillars that are much thicker. And of course, it's all unibody. It's not a separate body and bed from the frame. Another interesting fact about the exterior is that the nose is lower and more aerodynamic than the internal combustion Silverado. Now, while the proportions are fairly different from a regular Silverado, the overall size is actually very similar to the regular Silverado. It's a different form factor. It is available in only one configuration. It's this 4-door with a single bed length. And the bed measures about 6 feet. So even though it is just this one single body, it's a fairly lengthy bed. And the bed can be expanded due to the reintroduction of the Midgate, where the rear glass and the bed partition can be lowered and folded down to expand cargo capacity. You can also get the multi-flex tailgate like on the conventional Silverado, where it has a panel that'll flip out that can help increase load capacity and also can flip down as a step to get into the bed. The entry-level dual motor system makes 510 horsepower and 615 pound-feet of torque. That will be offered on the work truck model for fleets. And the RST in this configuration will come with a dual motor setup that can make 664 horsepower and 780 pound-feet of torque in the highest output mode. Like the GMC Hummer EV, it features fully independent suspension front and rear, and it's coil-sprung suspension. There is, however, an air spring system that you can get as an option. Similar to some other full-size trucks, such as the Ford F-150 Lightning, there is power on board available. It features various household outlets, as well as a 240-volt outlet for higher voltage power tools and such. Payload ranges between 1,200 and 1,300 pounds, depending on specification, and towing capacity ranges between 8,000 and 10,000 pounds. Again, depends on which version you get. Chevy has announced that there will be a 20,000 pound towing capacity for the Silverado eventually, but not on the initial run of Silverado EVs. The initial run of Silverado EVs will come with the longest range battery pack, which offers around 400 miles of electric range. It also supports 350 kilowatt DC fast charging. As we mentioned, the Silverado EV begins production in 2023. Fleet models will be coming out first, followed by these customer RST versions. Those will be the only two to begin with. There are additional trims coming for the 2025 model year that will begin production in 2024. Pricing for the fleet model hasn't been revealed because GM doesn't give out fleet pricing, but the RST version will start at around $105,000. That's because it is a very high trim level. It comes with many, many options. There are cheaper versions coming though. For the 2025 model year, there will be a work truck version available to customers, and that one will come also with a smaller battery pack, and it'll start just under $40,000. So while the initial run will be very expensive, there will be affordable ones coming. And that concludes our tour of the all-new Chevy Silverado EV. For Autoblog, I'm Joel Stocksdale, and thanks for joining us.